Now, we met a man with a head shaped and shaved like a tennis ball. But it's very interesting to know about the tennis balls. Where do they come from? How much life is there in a tennis ball? It is obviously one of the most vital components of the sport. Well, I caught up earlier in the week with Louise Price, and she actually owns the only tennis ball manufacturers in England. What is the shelf life of a tennis ball? Something I've always wondered, actually, and that's because I used to practice tennis and play a lot of tennis, and we used the same tennis balls for years and years and years, always in the corner of the cupboard. Well, someone who'll know a lot more about the shelf life of a tennis ball is someone that makes them, because Louise Price is the owner of J. Price of Bath, the only English tennis ball manufacturers. Hello, Louise.
Hi there.
So just what is the shelf life of a tennis ball, first of all?
There's two different types. There's a pressurised, which only lasts as long as the air that is in the chamber, so it gets hit out by the players, which is why you see them changing balls regularly during a tournament, or a pressureless, which the bounce is in the rubber, so they don't have a shelf life. They last as long as the rubber and cloth does.
So in a championship, they'd be playing with the first sort that you mentioned,
yes.
And then kids at school and in tennis clubs will be playing with the second.
Yeah, with the pressureless. Yeah,
with the pressureless. So in championships again, how long would they last for? Would it be one? I can't remember when they change balls. I think it's probably like every two sets.
It's a few games, yes.
Yeah,
but equally, you see the player before they serve bouncing, and they're checking the bounce and the compression there. And if they're not happy with the ball, you see them throw it to a side and ask for another one. So if you're an amazing player, you obviously from a bounce, you will know you want to have the right ball to serve with, obviously to get the points.
Yeah. The rest of us would have no idea if the bounce has gone in the ball or not.
I think even a good player would struggle to know whether it was an inch off bounce or
really.
But an excellent player would spot it in a flash.
So I mean, you're very young. Is this your family business?
It is my family business.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been back with the family company 6 years, and my dad is 88. He still works full time, so we run the company together. I just started helping him when I was on maternity leave and fell back in love with making something, being part of a small company.
And so how many tennis balls would you make a week, or is it seasonal?
It is seasonal, but an average is about 6,000 a week.
Wow. And are they all the bright yellow ones?
No, they're all different colours. So we make balls for all sorts of reasons, for ones that make it onto court, others for promotional, and they can be customised for brand colours or with people's logos.
Do you know, it's really interesting because when I was playing tennis as a kid, it was just the colour of a tennis ball was a dirty white. That was it. We never had day glow. We never had balls that you could play with in night and see them. They were just that dirty white, which is what your father probably started out making.
Yeah, absolutely, and we still make white balls today. They're quite popular, but we switched to, or UK switched to yellow when they started televising matches, so the yellow could be seen.
And what is, the design of a tennis ball, how intricate is that? We just think of, don't we, of that seam that runs down the centre in a sort of snake-like fashion. How intricate is the design?
It's a really involved process. Manufacturing is expensive in the UK, but there are at least 12 steps to be making a tennis ball, and it's not something you can just pick up straight away. We make everything like a cake. We make the rubber mix as if you're making, putting all the ingredients together, moulding, mixing onto the mill into making it to a rubber sheet, and then that pliable rubber gets moulded into a half of a tennis ball that gets joined, that then gets covered in glue and then cloth. And then it all has to be firmed into place. And then obviously the balls all have to be tested.
I was going to love this bit. So that now would be done by a machine, but I imagine originally it was done by human bounce, was it?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a machine to do it, but we do a bit of both. So before a ball is released into production, every batch of rubber is tested meticulously. So you would check the rubber is going to work properly into the factory, into the press shop, but then you would look at some balls that are actually made, and you're checking for that the balls bounce the correct amount, that when you squeeze them with a weight on, that's called compression, that they have the right amount for that, and the right weight. yeah, it's fascinating.
What is the worst thing you can do to a tennis ball apart from run it over? I mean, I'm thinking of sun perishing it. My dog, obviously, the puppies all love tennis balls and puncture them. Whatever. But they have quite a long shelf life with the dog. Actually, what is the worst if you've got a tube of tennis balls, new tennis balls at home? You really want to protect them. What's the worst thing you could do with them?
Probably leaving them out in the sunlight. The white rubber that you can see, that the worst that would happen is that would yellow, and eventually that would cause it to perish, but it would take a very long time.
But you must be very proud.
Yeah, I am very proud. My granddad started the firm in 1936 and we grew, and my father has established the business, and now we're pretty small, but all of our employees have been working with us for a long time. Some of their parents used to work for us, and that makes me proud. Rather than seeing the stuff on the shelves or out, it's knowing that we've created some jobs, we've kept them going.
Louise Price, thank you so much, and enjoy this year's Wimbledon.